Can you introduce yourself? Tell us a little bit about you.
I am Colton Smith. I've been in the Army for 20 years now. At this point, active duty. Also a professional fighter, fought in the UFC, was the Ultimate Fighter season 16 champion. And through deployments and just the grind of being a fighter, professional athlete, my body's taking a little bit of a hit. So I'm here just making sure that I'm doing the right things to stay in the fight and able to continue to do what I do for the country and my soldiers, as well as all of my fighters. So going on a reality show was a little weird. Grew up in Iowa, definitely not a reality show style of living. And being on a reality show for 54 days and then subsequently winning the show was obviously a better experience for me as opposed to everyone else in the show that didn't win. But it was a great experience, and it was a situation where the Army wasn't sure if I was going to stay in or get out or what I was going to do, but I stayed in the Army and kind of did both simultaneously as long as I could. TBIs, CTE's real, on the fighting side of the house and on the military side of the house with explosions and concussive blasts, and a lot of that has taken a toll throughout 20 years of being in the infantry and in special operations. So that's something that I've had to deal with and be proactive with. Not only in my day-to-day life with making sure I eat right, sleep right, do the right things, but also getting stem cells and coming out to Arizona to be here. This is a big step for me in my recovery and making sure I'm doing the right things to kind of prolong my ability to stay in the fight. So I had an injury in Germany and it pinched some nerves. And I think it's 5'6", T1, T2 from a pretty hard fall. And it made my left arm numb from my elbow down to my wrist, and nothing I could do was alleviating that. Went to pain management, did everything I could holistically as well, and it wasn't working. So when I came out here, I already had some issues with my C5, C6, C7. And so they did, I got stem cells injected in my back, my T-spine, C-spine. I expected it to be a lot more painful than it was. It really wasn't. And we had a lot of the students around watching as well as the doc was administering the stem cells. And I was surprised by how quickly I felt feeling come back in my forearm. Like, it's one thing for placebo effect, but for me to actually feel touching my forearm, where at one point I couldn't feel anything from my elbow down to my wrist. And now I already have feeling back in my forearm, and this is just about a month and a half removed from the initial stem cells. I did listen to doc. I did stay out of the gym and doing the right things, and obviously no turmeric and no NSAIDs and no alcohol and no tobacco, which I don't smoke or drink anyway. So it definitely helped assist and aid in, I think, the recovery process after stem cells and to get the efficacy that I was looking for. My neck's a lot better. I don't have pain. A lot of it was range of motion was my issues. And my range of motion is a lot better now. I feel a lot better when I'm doing even my fighting, training my fighters, and then day to day wearing a pack. If I'm wearing a pack or whatever I'm doing, I don't feel as tight as it was at one point. After a couple days of wearing a pack or shooting, running, whatever it may be, my neck would lock up. It wouldn't necessarily hurt, but it would be locked up, and I'd lose mobility and range of motion. But now, this is probably the best my neck's been in over 10 years.
So last question, what does the future hold for Colton?
The future. So I think retirement's on the horizon. I still want to stay in the fight, still do things for different government agencies and the military, giving back to them. And I own Fight Gyms, the National Capital Region Listed 9 Fight Company, and continue to build my gyms and give back to the next crop of fighters and soldiers.